Jessa Duggar and Ben Seawald have just welcomed their 6th and 7th child together. But wait, there's a shocking twist that fans didn't see coming. Is this the surprise that will change everything for the Duggar family? Stick around as we dive into all the jaw-dropping details you need to know. Jessa Duggar may have thought she was just sharing an update on what she and her family have been up to lately, but her newest YouTube vlog turned into so much more than that among her critics. After her youngest child, 1-year-old George, was filmed wearing an amber teething necklace in the video, Jessa is on the receiving end of a lot of backlash from people who say she's putting her child in danger. Like other members of her family, Jessa, husband Ben Seawald, and their 5 children spent a few days at Fort Rock, which hosts a family-centered summer camp experience, and has a cute old West-inspired mini-town to explore. Joanna's husband Austin's family owns the camp, though the Duggars began going there for years before those two were married. While the family was driving to camp, George can be seen chilling in his car seat while wearing an amber teething necklace. Fans quickly shared their concern on Reddit, though some weren't surprised Jessa would use a teething product with her children that could pose a safety risk. Sadly, this doesn't surprise me, as they don't care about the safety of their children. They care about raking in the views and money, that's it, one person wrote. For other commenters, it wasn't just the teething necklace that sparked that concern, it was also the way George was buckled into his car seat. Like, look at how down low the harness buckle is on the baby. That's not the correct way to buckle them in. I'm sure they turn them forward facing ASAP too, one critic wrote, while another shared, the necklace is stupid and could be dangerous as well obviously, but that car seat is in my opinion a bigger danger. Experts warn against using amber teething necklaces. The American Academy of Pediatrics has long held the stance that not only are amber teething necklaces unsafe, but they are also not effective in helping little ones get through the pain and discomfort that comes with teething. In this case, it appears Jessa's critics are right. Hopefully, someone in her life will say something. Would hate to see anything happen to precious baby George. Jessa Duggar and Ben Seawald are expecting their 6th baby, and the former Counting On couple recently shared some updates about the pregnancy on Jessa Duggar and Jeremy Vuola's podcast. Ben and Jessa covered a wide variety of topics, like how their relationship began, the pressure of having a public romance, and the sex of their 6th baby. Ben also shared Jessa's due date, July 21st. That means the Seawalds are less than 2 months away from welcoming their little one. Ben and Jessa, who are parents to Spurgeon, Henry, Ivy, Fern, and George, announced they were expecting their 6th baby on March 7th, with an Instagram post of a sonogram. Since announcing she was expecting, Jessa hasn't shared a ton about her pregnancy. During a recent trip to California to visit sister Jessa, though, Jessa opened up about baby number 6. The 6th baby wasn't always in the plan. Having a huge family might seem like no big deal for someone who was on a show called 19 Kids and Counting, but Jessa admitted that she and Ben weren't initially planning to have a 6th baby. After having their 3rd child, Ben and Jessa started saying, "This is the last one," but then a year and a half or 2 years later they would start getting baby fever again. So, while Jessa and Ben think that their 6th baby is their last one, they're not making any promises. Boy or girl? At the end of the podcast, Jessa and Jeremy asked the question everyone's been wondering, is baby number 6 a boy or girl? Before answering, Jessa explained that historically she and Ben don't share the gender of their baby before birth, even though the two of them find out. That said, they usually let Jessa and Jeremy in on the news since they live so far away. Jessa Duggar faces fierce backlash over controversial baby item her young toddler is wearing. Jessa Duggar Seawald, one of the most well-known daughters from the Duggar family dynasty, has once again found herself in the middle of a heated online controversy. While the former 19 Kids and Counting star has largely stayed out of the limelight compared to some of her more vocal siblings, especially since the cancellation of Counting On, she continues to share pieces of her life on social media. Recently, Jessa posted what she likely assumed was a harmless and heartwarming photo of one of her youngest children, a toddler dressed in casual at-home wear. But what she perhaps didn't anticipate was the tidal wave of backlash she'd receive over one specific item the child was wearing, an item some fans and critics alike have labeled as inappropriate, even dangerous for a child that age. The controversy quickly escalated from simple mom-shaming into a full-blown internet uproar that reopened a broader conversation about parenting choices, internet policing, and the Duggar legacy of control, judgment, and selective transparency. At the heart of the issue is a simple accessory, A necklace, more specifically, what appears to be an amber teething necklace worn by Jessa's toddler. Though once widely popular among natural parenting communities for their supposed soothing properties for teething babies, these necklaces have come under scrutiny in recent years. Health experts, pediatricians, and even safety organizations like the American Academy of Pediatrics have warned against their use due to potential strangulation and choking hazards. Despite these warnings, many parents continue to use them, claiming they see real benefits. Jessa's supporters have attempted to defend her by citing personal experience and anecdotal success stories, but that didn't stop the flood of criticism from dominating the comments section of her post. What was intended to be a cute family update quickly spiraled into a judgmental storm, questioning not just Jessa's choices but her very fitness as a mother. The reaction from the public was swift and fierce. Some commenters accused Jessa of promoting unsafe parenting practices to her large social media following. Others used the incident as an opportunity to critique her broader parenting style, bringing up old grievances about how she handled previous medical concerns with her children or her choice to give birth at home despite complications in earlier pregnancies. In many ways, the reaction wasn't just about one necklace. It was about years of pent-up tension regarding the Duggar family's approach to child-rearing, health, and their perceived rejection of mainstream medical advice. Jessa, who has often presented herself as a more balanced and modern Duggar sibling, still maintains many of the beliefs rooted in her conservative Christian upbringing. That includes a belief in natural parenting methods, close family bonds, and awareness of secular influence. But as the cultural tide continues to shift, even those ideals are being challenged more aggressively, especially when children's safety is involved. Interestingly, the backlash also reignited discussions about how female members of the Duggar family have historically been policed, both by their own community and by the public. Jessa, like her sisters, grew up in a world where image management was everything. She was taught to prioritize modesty, submission, and the promotion of her family's values. But now that she's a mother of 5 and navigating the world as an adult woman, those rules seem both outdated and constraining. Critics argue that Jessa should know better than to share controversial content, especially when it involves her children. Supporters, on the other hand, claim that she should be allowed to parent in peace and that the criticism she faces is often rooted in misogyny disguised as concern. The firestorm over the necklace might seem small, but it touches on larger themes: autonomy, evolving family roles, and the limits of social media decorum. Complicating matters further is Jessa's own complex relationship with public attention. Unlike her sister Jinga, who has actively distanced herself from the family's belief system and has written a tell-all memoir, Jessa has mostly chosen to stay quiet on controversial topics. She did post a video last year defending her decision to have a D&C procedure after a miscarriage, calling out critics who claimed she had undergone an abortion. That moment marked one of the few times she pushed back publicly against judgment. Still, many feel she rarely addresses criticism directly, instead letting online debates swirl around her without much intervention. This silence has often worked to her advantage, allowing her to maintain a quiet presence online without becoming too embroiled in drama. However, in this instance, the scale of the backlash has grown so loud that silence may no longer be a sustainable strategy. It's worth noting that the reaction to Jessa's post hasn't been entirely negative. A significant number of her fans have rallied to her defense, arguing that the internet has become far too aggressive in dictating how mothers should raise their children. They point out that parenting is deeply personal and that shaming a mom for using a necklace that millions of parents have used for years is counterproductive and cruel. This group views the criticism not as constructive concern but as yet another instance of performative outrage, where people leap at the chance to attack someone in the public eye. They also argue that if the necklace were truly so dangerous, it would be banned outright, yet it remains available for purchase across countless online platforms. In their eyes, Jessa is simply being scapegoated for making a choice that millions make quietly every day. That said, the criticism of the amber teething necklace isn't entirely without merit. Health organizations have issued multiple warnings, and there are documented cases of injury and even death associated with their misuse. Experts urge parents to err on the side of caution, choosing safer alternatives like frozen teething rings or gum massages. And while Jessa has not directly responded to the backlash, Her followers are now watching closely to see if she'll delete the photo or issue any kind of clarification. Historically, when Duggar family members are involved in scandals, big or small, there tends to be a brief period of outrage followed by radio silence. Fans either move on or continue debating until the next controversy arises. But this particular incident might have more staying power due to its implications about child safety and public accountability. Furthermore, this episode also raises questions about the burden of online motherhood. Jessa, like many influencer moms, shares glimpses of her life as a way to stay connected with fans and maintain relevance in a post-TLC world. The moment she shares something as seemingly benign as a snapshot of her child, she opens herself up to scrutiny from people who often know nothing about her day-to-day life. The internet has created a strange paradox. Women are expected to be open and authentic, but when they do share, they're ruthlessly judged. For Jessa, who already operates under the microscope due to her famous last name, the stakes are even higher. Every post is potentially fodder for controversy, especially when it involves how she raises her children. All of this comes at a time when the Duggar family name is already steeped in scandal and re-evaluation. The shocking conviction of her brother Josh Duggar on child sexual abuse material charges continues to cast a long shadow over every member of the family. Many fans and critics view the Duggar brand with skepticism, questioning whether the family has ever been honest about their values or their intentions. Even though Jessa has denounced Josh and distanced herself from his crimes, she can't entirely escape the stain of that association. For some, the necklace is just another excuse to air their grievances with the Duggar family as a whole, whether justified or not. For others, it's simply a necessary critique of a questionable parenting choice. In the end, the controversy surrounding Jessa Duggar and the baby necklace she featured in her photo is a small story with big implications. It demonstrates the power of social media to both connect and divide, to uplift and vilify. It also reflects the increasingly narrow line public figures must walk when sharing their personal lives online. For Jessa, this may serve as a lesson in the risks of transparency, especially when it involves something as sensitive and scrutinized as motherhood. Whether or not she chooses to respond remains to be seen. But one thing is clear, in today's digital age, even the smallest choices can spark the biggest debates. Jessa Duggar may have thought she was simply sharing a sweet moment with her child, but instead she opened a door to a fierce cultural debate, one that shows no signs of calming down anytime soon. In a heartwarming and quietly dramatic moment that instantly captured the attention of reality TV fans and Duggar followers alike, Jessa Duggar Seawold recently revealed the gender of her sixth child to her sister Jinga Duggar Vuolo during a surprise appearance on Jinga and Jeremy Vuolo's podcast. This reveal didn't just add another piece to the ever-expanding Duggar family tree, but also provided a rare glimpse into the intimate sibling bond between two sisters who grew up in the public eye. Jessa and her husband Ben Seawold, who have become known for sharing major family milestones through social media and YouTube, took a slightly different route this time around. Instead of making a standalone announcement, they opted to incorporate the surprise into a casual but heartfelt conversation during a visit to Jinga and Jeremy's home in California. The moment was organic and unrehearsed, which made it all the more touching for fans who followed the family for over a decade. Ben was the first to float the idea during the podcast recording. Midway through the episode, while discussing their upcoming baby and family life, Ben turned to Jessa with a sly smile and asked if they should share the gender then and there. Jessa, always the more cautious and reserved of the pair, agreed, but with one condition: the gender reveal would need to be censored in the podcast audio so fans wouldn't know just yet. However, in true Duggar fashion, that plan didn't exactly go off without a hitch. Despite the audio bleep, many longtime fans quickly deduced what was said. Viewers who read Jessa's lips or picked up on the subtle emotional shifts in her tone claimed they clearly saw her say the words, "It's a boy." The speculation rapidly spread through online forums, social media threads, and fan pages, with the overwhelming consensus being that baby number 6 is indeed a boy. And while Jessa and Ben have yet to officially confirm the gender through their own platform, the excitement among their fanbase has already taken on a life of its own. The revelation marked an emotional moment for Jinga as well. Having been particularly close to Jessa throughout their childhood, Jinga's face lit up with joy upon hearing the surprise. Her reaction, genuine, wide-eyed, and full of heartfelt laughter, highlighted the enduring sisterly bond between the two women. It was the kind of authentic moment rarely seen in the curated world of influencer culture, and for many viewers, it served as a refreshing reminder of what makes the Duggar family so uniquely captivating. Jessa and Ben's decision to disclose the gender during such a family-centric setting also sent a strong message. For a couple often criticized or praised for their large family and traditional values, the move reaffirmed their commitment to keeping their core experiences rooted in family first, not fanfare. Rather than staging an elaborate gender reveal party or online spectacle, they chose a quiet, personal space shared with close loved ones. This sixth child will join siblings Spurgeon, Henry, Ivy, Fern, and George. With each pregnancy, Jessa and Ben have expressed gratitude and joy, emphasizing their belief that each new child is a gift. Jessa previously stated that though she doesn't typically share gender announcements before birth, this particular moment felt right because it involved her sister, someone who knows her on a deeper level than any follower or online audience could. The current pregnancy was publicly revealed earlier this year, and Jessa has shared limited updates about it online. One notable detail was that her due date is set for late July, meaning that the Seawald household is now in full preparation mode. Nesting, name brainstorming, and making space for another little one have likely taken over their family routine, although Jessa has kept most of those details private for now. What adds further dimension to this pregnancy is its emotional context. Jessa suffered a heartbreaking miscarriage last year, a loss she opened up about with vulnerability and raw honesty. That experience, she said, made her more grateful than ever for this new chapter. She described this pregnancy as both healing and deeply meaningful, calling it a redemptive joy after a difficult period. Jessa's bond with her sister Jinga has grown even stronger in recent years, particularly as both women have navigated changes in their beliefs and chosen to establish new boundaries within and outside the family. Jinga, who has publicly discussed stepping away from some of the more rigid teachings of their upbringing, welcomed the gender reveal as an intimate and supportive sisterly moment. It wasn't just a baby announcement, it was an act of trust, love, and celebration that resonated on many levels.